Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show, April the 12th, 2025. And I am live here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show this weekend. The show is hosted by Mike Overson, Luminate Home Loans, Scott Wolmering, and myself, Ryan O'Neill, with the Minnesota Real Estate team and REMAX Advantage Plus. Scott out sick today. Hope you feel better soon. And Mike will be calling in a little bit later, but we've got a lot to talk about today, a lot to cover, and a number of different things to touch on. So please don't hesitate at any point to interrupt me, 612-294-6949. And we're getting ready to go live on air right now. Thanks again for joining us. This is on WCCO. Well, good morning and welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for joining us, everybody. My name is Ryan O'Neill with the Minnesota Real Estate team and REMAX Advantage Plus, and this is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We are here every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. for all of your questions, comments, thoughts. We talk everything real estate related, mortgage related, and again, welcome your questions at any point. 612-294-6949. The show is hosted by Mr. Mike Overson of Luminate Bank, Scott Wolmering, and again, myself, Ryan O'Neill. Scott is out sick today. Hope you feel better soon, Scott. You're back to 100% health, and Mike will be calling in with his mortgage update here a little bit later in the show. Got a lot to talk about here today. And again, you can interrupt me at any point, 612-294-6949, 612-294-6949. A lot to discuss with current market conditions from a real estate standpoint, mortgage standpoint. A lot of questions about, the tariffs. How have the tariffs been impacting things? Some news this week, Zillow came out with some interesting news as well. I'll be sharing and how that affects marketing of listings. A lot of stuff to talk about. Again, 612-294-6949. First segment of the show. Here we always like to do a real estate and a mortgage update just to give an idea of what's cooking here in the Twin Cities. From a real estate buying, selling, listing standpoint. Some interesting numbers, some good numbers, really, in my opinion. New listings, new homes for sale in the Twin Cities up almost 24%. If you can believe, there were 24% more homes that came on the market this past week, 1,300 of them total. And then here's also some good news. Pending sales up 13.5% as well. There were 1,067 newly accepted purchase agreements. Also very good news. And then the inventory is increasing. It's up 3.5% year over year to 7,750 homes for sale. If you've followed the show, if you've listened, the last couple months, 6 months, year or two, oftentimes you'll hear us talk about we are, again, at just a very historically low level of inventory in the Twin Cities. I was talking to my brother Tim yesterday, and we were joking a little bit and talking. He lives in Edina, and he was just saying that he never sees real estate signs. Rarely are there for sale signs. And it is agents feel that, buyers, if you're a buyer in the market, you're feeling that because there are a lot of sort of unmet buyer needs. In other words, buyers who just can't find anything to buy right now. And obviously that's frustrating for buyers out there, frustrating for the agent population, really for everybody in the real estate space. The last 2 years, again, historically, were the worst as far as number of closings. and closed transactions in the United States in 30 years. So for those people that are real estate agents, mortgage, title professionals, etc., 2023 and 2024 were not really great years from overall, just from an overall closing standpoint. Again, mainly because of this low inventory. Low inventory is causing a lot of issues, as well as mortgage-wise. Let's talk mortgage rates here in the first segment. Again, an update. This is from Mike Overson, Luminate Bank. Mike just shared, he said, Ryan, my main message is this: rates are up an average of 0.625% this week due to the tariff news. So 0.625%. So what that means is last Friday, the interest rates were 6.375. 6.375, right around there, Mike says, is where rates were at. Now the average 30-year fixed is pushing 7%. Mike said he personally believes that rates will get worse next week. He said they will eventually get better down the road. And he said, I recommend you locking your rates sooner versus later if you are actively going through the loan process and haven't locked the rate yet. Some interesting news. I think there's just obviously a lot of uncertainty. The stock market, the various markets, the bond markets, anyone in the investment world, there's a lot of uncertainty going on just with the tariffs and what's happening with that, and how that will impact things. And so again, just from an interest rate standpoint, not great news with the rise in interest rates. However, again, at least we've got a little bit more inventory, which is a bonus. And again, we've got some texts coming in and some phone lines ringing. You're welcome to join the discussion with me. 612-294-6949, 612-294-6949. Before the break, had a text message come in. This one says, we are currently considering selling our home, and the broker emphasized he would act as a dual agent. How can that arrangement ensure we receive the highest price when he is negotiating for his buyer as well? Can we require he represent only us and not act as a dual agent? It's a really good question. Thanks again for listening to the show. Appreciate it. What I would say is dual agency happens when the same broker, in this case, let's say it was us, so RE/MAX Advantage Plus is representing both the buyer and the seller. Now, dual agency can be, let's say, for example, it was me or Scott was the agent, and Scott is working with both. Or it could be someone on our team or someone at our company. That is still technically dual agency. I think your point is a really valid one, and I personally am in agreement with you. I think it is very, very hard to do. Your agent oftentimes is providing data, information, and essentially is the messenger of your wishes to that other agent. A really good agent is not going to be making any decisions. Okay, I always tell the agents on the team, we're not the buyer or the seller. We are there to represent them in their best interests and communicate to be that messenger to the other agent. I think in this case, I know we're up against a break, but yes, you could ask that agent, if you're thinking about hiring him or her, to say, look, we prefer you to not work with both the buyer and the seller. If that comes up, if that happens, please have someone on your team work with them. Please have someone at your brokerage work with them. That is something very commonly we do at the Minnesota Real Estate Team. Part of the reason we're a team as well, because at the end of the day, again, it is all about representing the customer, his or her best interests, and helping them through the process. So really good question. I hope that helps. And again, I know we're up against a break. We've got a couple phone callers here as well. We'll get to those right after the break here. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show, again, hosted by Mike Overson, Scott Wohlmering, and myself, Ryan O'Neill. We'll be back after the break. Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody. I know it's probably a little weird to see me kind of rambling by myself, but I appreciate you catching us wherever you are on social media, and have again a lot to talk about today. Happy to see that increased inventory. Definitely a bonus. More inventory, more transactions. We'll have to see what's going to happen with interest rates here from that standpoint. As well, if that will continue to create some uncertainty in the market. I think a general feeling I'm hearing from a lot of other agents and brokers is that a lot of buyers, a lot of homeowners are sort of moving on with life. In other words, they're realizing that, interest rates were super low during COVID. They're higher now. But life happens. People get married, people get divorced, people have kids, they need to upsize, they need to downsize, they need to relocate for their work. So I think that's a lot of what we're seeing as far as movement here in the Twin Cities. And so I do think that will continue. I personally think this year is going to be a better year overall closing wise than the last 2 years. I think we are going to see more activity. As a team, we're up year over year. So we are seeing more overall transaction count. And I think that's just because, again, as I mentioned, people are starting to actually move a little bit more, which is definitely a positive. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, don't hesitate to put that in wherever you're catching us on social media. This is an interesting one. Just said, your best advice for a first-time home buyer. First-time home buyers in this market, it can be challenging because, again, in many of the first-time home buyer price ranges, we are seeing multiple offers. Be sure you're working with a really good agent who can help you with multiple offer tips. Be sure you are working with a very good lender, local, trusted, reputable, that the listing agent knows, that the seller will know, that the seller will have confidence in. That's very important. And then just some basic things with the offer, trying to make your offer as strong as possible. Strong earnest money, inspection. If you can waive the inspection, it is preferred. I know our partners on the show do what they call walk and talk inspections prior to you making an offer. I know it's not ideal. You want to have a home inspection, but that's something we actually have a list as a team of 25 tips. Fellow agents, brokers watching, really anyone, customers, I'm happy to share that with you. Just reach out. These are some really practical, helpful tips. And but again, biggest tip I would say is just work with a really good agent. Work with a really good lender. He or she will make all the difference in helping you secure that property. What do you guys think will happen with mortgage rates? Hard to say, unknown. Mike says he thinks they'll come down long term. Right now we're in that uncertainty stage, especially with all these negotiations of tariffs and what's going to happen. So I think long term probably down. Right now, unsure, but I know we're getting ready to go back live on air. Appreciate you joining us. It's yours truly today. Here we go. Hey, welcome back to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Hope your weekend's going well. Appreciate you joining us. Mike Overson, Luminate Bank, Scott Wolmering, myself, Ryan O'Neill, with the Minnesota Real Estate Team, RE/MAX Advantage Plus. Welcome to join us again, 612-294-6949 is how you can interrupt us at any point with any questions, calls, thoughts, 612-294-6949 at any point. Ryan is here in studio. Ryan, what do you think, bud? It's just me today.
You know, you're like the kid in class who invited everyone to his birthday party, And nobody showed up.
Nobody showed up. What do you do?
But you are clearly showing your skills as the leader of this team that you bring in every week. I'm learning a lot already, and there's so minimal distractions. It seems
Minimal distractions. It is interesting to again doing this all by yourself. It is kind of fun. See, you're a natural radio guy, Rye. You've got the voice.
Well,
you've got the voice. You're also doing some TV stuff as well, so you could chip in. You know,
all behind the scenes. I got the face for radio. I've only heard that joke once in my life.
You do not. You do not. You do not. This is another question. We were just talking about first-time homebuyer tips. This was a kind of a remodeling question that I had that just came in that said, Ryan, we've been wondering, we have 2 3/4 bathrooms, 1 full bathroom on our main floor. Our question is, we don't like the outdated look and feel of it with the tub. Would we impact our resale value if we updated it without a tub and just put in a walk-in shower in its place? Thanks. Thanks so much. Thanks for listening to the show. Came from my friend Barry, who is a longtime friend and listener of the show. So interesting, and I'm happy to share this link with anybody listening too. There is a national website that has done some good analysis on cost versus value on various types of home improvements and the resale value that you're going to get out of it. If you can believe, the number 1 item is a garage door replacement. Their statistics show average job cost of $4,500, cost recouped almost 193%. Next on the list is an entry door replacement. People, that front door, you always want a nice front door versus a dilapidated looking front door. Next on the list is a minor kitchen remodel. They're showing cost on this $26,000 and a recoup of 96%. I would agree. A kitchen remodel can make a lot of difference for buyers. As we go down to Barry's question and look at bathrooms, they've got a few different ones. A bathroom remodel, more of an upscale remodel, showing a really expensive remodel. They're showing a 45% return. Not wonderful. They say a bathroom remodel, more of a universal design. They come in at 49% with that, so about half. And then a bathroom addition mid-range. Yeah, you're looking at, I'd say it is definitely not a dollar for dollar return on that. If the condition is solid, I would say don't redo it. You could put, a lot of these bathrooms have the one piece. Now you could put something like that in without breaking the bank. And again, it's something we'd be happy to look at the house a little bit closer to get an idea based upon price range, area, location, what that return would be. But, generally speaking, in this market, again, limited inventory doesn't mean everything's selling. Doesn't mean that everything's flying off the shelf. People want to see, people are attuned to pricing. They want to see good condition. They do want to see clean. All of those things. You think as a buyer, you put yourself in the buyer's shoes. But yeah, you think about that, Ryan, you think about a full bathroom remodel, kitchen remodel. I always encourage people to do that when they can enjoy it. They can personally live there and not just at time of sale. Thoughts on that?
It's always a conflicting thing because, that's the whole point. It's, you're doing it for the resale value, but you're also, you want to make sure that you're still going to live in this house. And you don't know when your house will sell, depending on the market changes. But is there something you should prioritize first? You think? I mean, let's say your house is totally original. Like, what should be the main thing you're thinking of? Is it the appliances, the bathroom, the kitchen? Is that where the focus needs to be? Or what if I just want to update the closet doors in the bedroom?
Yeah, it is. It's hard to know because again, you can keep going, going, going. For example, my wife and I live in a 1980s house. You could probably go through and say, "Boy, you need this, 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 this." I think a lot of it. A good agent is going to come in. He or she's going to come in and really help you analyze the return on a variety of those projects. We always look at kind of simple, basic things first. Paint, carpet, smell is really important. Cleanliness is very important. And it depends upon your budget, funds that you have available to do some of these things. We see a lot of people, Ryan, that will update the home and then they sell it, and sometimes they do that because they need the cash back right away. But I always encourage people, if you are going to update, don't hesitate to update so you can enjoy it yourself. There's a lot of the updating and then, hey, all right, we're out of here. We're done.
Now, when you say cleanliness, I mean, is this just vacuuming every day? Is this washing the windows? Is this just making sure there's no spots on the wall? Is this just the daily, your cleaning chores, or how do you define cleanliness for reselling a home?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, from my point, from when you see all of these folks who, and you see you see them, it's hard to think of someone who is like, oh my gosh, they are causing all of this extra things, all this extra problem, all these extra things. I mean, I think at the end of the day, doing some of the basic things, looking at cleanliness, cleaning the home, doing some painting. You don't have to break the bank, and a lot of it can depend upon you sitting there with your agent and looking at it and saying, hey, what funds do we have available to do that? Because in this market, as you're listening to this and you're thinking, hey, I heard there's record low inventory. That doesn't mean everything's selling. Doesn't mean everything is selling immediately, quickly. It also doesn't mean you have to go out and spend a ton of money on refixing everything up. But having the agent come in, talk to you, go over some of the best practices, cleanliness, things to update, so that it presents itself in the best way possible. And again, like we said in the first segment, you look at, what was it, 13% more pending sales. That's encouraging. 13% more pending sales in the Twin Cities. Very encouraging to see. And that's, again, a function of a lot of sellers pricing homes correctly. And again, a lot of buyers out there. So we're already at our halfway point of the show. You're welcome to interrupt us at any point. 612-294-6949, 612-294-6949. Before the break, wanted to touch on a feature listing. Adam Benedict has one listed in Minneapolis. This is 1912 DuPont Avenue South, number 202, and it's listed for $142,500. Adam said it's a beautifully updated condo. It's in one of the most conveniently located neighborhoods in the city. Great open concept layout, perfect for entertaining. It's got a king-size bedroom, 2 separate closets, off-street parking, and it is updated building common spaces, include a very secure entry lobby, hallways, elevator, affordable association fee, and a healthy reserve account. Again, 1912 DuPont Avenue South, number 202 for $142,500. Be sure to check that one up. We're at, again, the halfway point of the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Hope your weekend is going well. We got some sunshine in Minnesota, and hope you and your families are able to get out, enjoy a little sunshine and the nice weather. Welcome your questions, comments, thoughts in the second half. 612-294-6949. We'll be back after the break. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Appreciate it wherever you might be seeing us on social media. We do appreciate you joining it. Hope your weekend's going well. Had another comment. Any tip, Ryan, for a real estate investor? Tip for a real estate investor, I would say, is first thing is find a really good agent to help you. He or she can help you find inventory. That can be a challenge. Always trying to find inventory, both MLS, both non-MLS inventory. That would be the first tip. Second tip I would say is take some time to learn about investing in real estate. With the uncertainty in today's stock market, many people are thinking, hey, is there anything I can do to invest other ways? Real estate is a great long-term way to build wealth, to save annually on income taxes, to really build your net worth over time. We do, I know I've mentioned it before, but we do every month a free real estate investing seminar. A couple different ones. One is sort of more of a 101. Hey, how do I invest in real estate? I actually lead that seminar. I share my personal experience since 2001, if you can believe, of being a landlord here in the Twin Cities. So over 20 years now of being a landlord, managing tenants, finding properties, both buy and hold properties, also fix and flip properties. So I think it's a great idea. I think it's if you're kicking around the idea of trying to find something else, a way to potentially invest outside of the stock market. Again, check out our seminars. We do mnrealestateshow.com. And again, we take you from A to Z on how to invest in real estate. And personally, I think it's a good time. You'll find a lot of rents. Rents are expensive when you look around the Twin Cities. A lot of new buildings. We do this show, the WCCO show downtown, and you see, I mean, just a ton of new spaces, ton of new buildings. Rentals are not cheap. Part of what buyers are feeling in our market, everything's, rents are expensive. So I think a lot of first-time home buyers are saying, look, I've been paying $2,100 in rent, or $2,200 or $1,800 or $2,500. I'm going to go look at buying something. So we're seeing a lot of those people, I think, the last few years that are coming to that. This is an interesting question. We haven't had this one in a little bit. Mike is not here to answer it, but I'll take a stab. Mortgages. What do you guys recommend for the type of mortgage to do? It's a personal question. A lot of it depends upon affordability for you. Most people do a 30-year fixed mortgage because the payment is going to be lower than a 15-year fixed, of course, and it's what they can afford. The short answer is there's not a right or wrong answer. There's some people that are big fans of the 15-year mortgage. You pay less interest on the mortgage. However, you're also required to pay more every month. And so sometimes people can be cash poor if they're always dumping all their money into the property. From an investor standpoint, I like the 30-year fixed myself. We're going back live on air on CCO. Thanks for joining us. Top of the morning to you here at WCCO. We're downtown Minneapolis, and this is a real estate show. We talk real estate, mortgage, buying, selling, investing. My good friend, Mr. Scott Wolmering, is out sick today, hoping for a full and speedy recovery for you, Scott. And again, the show is also hosted by Mike Overson of Luminate Bank. Luminate Bank is a local bank here in the Twin Cities. I have been a longtime client of theirs. They've got some great savings account programs. I think right now their savings accounts are paying 4.5%. I know the owners of the bank, just wonderful folks. I've known them for probably 20 years. Local, reputable, honest, trustworthy. Again, part of the reason as a team and a show, we partner with Mike Overson and with Luminate Bank. Again, you're welcome to interrupt me at any point. 612-294-6949 is how you can join us here at any point. 612-294-6949 with any questions, any comments, or any thoughts. Did want to touch on one other listing here coming back. Miss Sue Marty, great agent on the team, has one listed in St. Paul. This is a condo for $279,900. Address is 209 East 8th Street, unit number 406. And the condo was just reduced down to $279,900. Sue said it's below appraised value. It's 2 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms. It's got in-unit laundry, underground heated parking, freshly painted, move-in ready, a quick close as possible. Again, 209 East 8th Street, unit 406 in St. Paul. That is priced for $279,900. Be sure to check that out. Yeah, interesting one indeed. Again, either by calling, texting, or commenting on our social media, we always welcome you to join us. This one, another interesting question, just said, have you guys ever fixed and flipped a home, and do you think it can be done in this market? Interesting. Yeah, fixing and flipping. I actually actively work to fix and flip some properties with a couple local friends, and I would say that you need, as a buyer, finding a really good agent to help you identify property is key. Now, your agent, you call up an agent, he or she's got, again, access to something called MLS. We obviously have an idea what MLS is. The agent pays for that subscription. Okay, they're paying, hey, I want to see what comes on the MLS. But in today's world, not everything is on MLS. And there's a lot of reasons why. And that's part of the big hubbub that came out this week. Zillow and Compass, amongst others, are battling a little bit that basically regarding listings going live on, you would think, hey, if somebody puts a home up for sale, it's going to always, you're going to see it on Zillow. Well, that's not always the case now. You put a home up for sale, it is not always on Zillow. It depends upon the broker. It depends upon the documents, the agreement you've signed with them. It depends upon the approach you want to take with them. And so it's important, again, as you're talking to your agent, talk to your broker and help, just understand what is the situation going on with Zillow, with syndication. Are we going to be listed on there? Are we not? Are we going to be an interior office exclusive? What are we going to do? And so part of my thought is, again, this fix and flip idea is, if you have a really good agent, and again, I'm friends with all the good folks at the various companies in town, have good friends at Edina Realty, Coldwell Banker, Sotheby's, EXP, all the different companies, Keller Williams, you name it. A lot of really good agents at all of the companies. The key is, talk to him or her and say, what are you going to do to help me shake the trees to find maybe an off-market property, to find an office exclusive property. Maybe you don't see it online. Maybe you don't see it on Zillow. You need a really aggressive agent to help you find the property, because you can imagine, I'll just give you a quick example. A recent house that we fixed and flipped was a very kind-hearted gal down in the South Metro. And by the way, my personal philosophy with fix and flips over the years is, I think the agent, the broker, owes it on a human level to talk to that customer and say, look, do you know, here's what you could do, and do you know, by going live on MLS and exposing it to the market, it's probably going to benefit you the most financially. I think it's really important to do as agents, as brokers, to help sellers understand their options. In this particular case, the seller understood that, completely understood. They just wanted to be out of their place. They wanted to be done. They were willing to take a little bit less on it as a result, and they simply just wanted to move on. We bought the property, we fixed it up, and we just sold it. We closed on it this past week. And so there are those opportunities out there. But again, you need a top agent who's going to help you, someone who is going to shake the trees. Not all agents are created equal, but again, there's a lot of good ones at all the companies. I have buddies at all the different companies. I know there's a lot of really good ones. Find somebody that's going to advocate for you looking to fix and flip. So I hope that helps the question a little bit. We got a caller here. Steve is calling the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Steve, thanks so much for calling the show. How can we help? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, really good question. So in this case, what Steve is referring to in the question sort of about sleeving the listing or kind of an off market. Now, the seller, the broker, the agent or the broker cannot do that without the client's permission. And so sometimes what will happen, Steve, is the seller will just say, hey, you know what, here's the deal. We don't want to be public on this thing. We don't want to put a sign out here. Here's the reasons why. We'll sign a listing contract with you, but you just can advertise it internally to your firm itself. And there's sometimes situations where that will happen, where sellers will prefer that. Now, an agent or a broker can't make that decision themselves. So in other words, they can't say, hey, Steve, you got a great place. I want to make more money. So I'm just going to just keep this one in-house and just do my own thing on it. It's really your choice. And where we see people do that, the off-market situation is more sometimes privacy-related reasons, sometimes condition, different reasons like that. But does that kind of make sense a little bit? Oh, he's gone. Okay, no worries. Yeah, hopefully that helped, Steve. Hopefully that helped, and that makes sense. Generally speaking, I am a huge proponent of going live on the market, letting everybody from all the companies see your property, all of the agents, anyone that's a potential buyer. Again, like we said in the first segment, we've got historically low inventory, 7,700 homes. There's just not many at all. So again, if you are willing, and some people say, look, I don't want showings, I don't want all this. We've had situations where we put people up in a hotel for the weekend. We get it presentable, we get it ready to go, and we take the weekend for showings. But if you can withstand those showings, and just being out a little bit, again, I personally would encourage you to go live on MLS. I think it's in your best financial interest as a seller. But those sleeved properties, those withhelds, that's got to be your direction. You got to be directing the agent or broker. That's what you want to do for whatever particular reason you may have. So I hope that helps a little bit. Hey, we're up against the final break here. I'm rambling. You got to cut me off. Ryan, you got to cut me off, man. 612-294-6949. It has been a quick show, but we appreciate you joining us. Hope your weekend's going well, and we'll be back after the break. Thanks everybody for joining us on the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Appreciate it. It's gone quickly. Holy cow. We got Ryan's holding the fort down here. Ryan, I wish I could see you on the camera here. Then we could bring you over here.
You don't want to see any of this.
Yeah, you do.
You
can see Ryan kind of on the corner. So every week he comes in running the board for us. We got a new board here in CCO. CCO is right down, by the way, downtown Minneapolis. It's the Odyssey Studios, it's a cool studio. We're up upstairs here, and cool studio. A lot of the different shows here. Some of the shows are they record at home, or you can do a mobile type of recording situation. We've always liked obviously coming into the studio. But again, thank you for joining us wherever you're catching us. 612-294-6949. Earnest money. How much earnest money do I need on a deal? Generally 1%. If you're buying a house, $400,000 offer, 1%, $4,000. If there's multiple offers, more money's better. If you can do 2%, 3%, 4%, that money comes out of your down payment. So if you're doing, say, 5% down, on a $400,000 house, that's 20 grand you're gonna have to bring to closing or bring eventually. If you do more earnest money, that limits your cash to closing. That strengthens your offer. So generally 1% is standard though in the Twin Cities market. This is another interesting question. Do you have any pros as far as pros and cons with homeowners associations? That's an interesting one. Pros with I'm part of 2 homeowners associations. I was on the board for 2 years. I was the president of the board for a couple of years, and I think there can be a lot of benefits to homeowners associations. There can be a lot of struggles with it as well. I would think know what you're getting into before, if you're looking to buy a condo or a townhome. Look at the rules and regulations. You get 10 days to look at that, to look at the rules and regs. So you know what's going on. Because again, when you buy a single family, you control everything. You know, you want to put a shed up. You want to, do different things. You can do that. Some single families have a homeowners association where there's some covenants, limited covenants, but generally speaking, you're looking at a condo, townhome restriction. There could be restrictions, rental restrictions, aesthetic conditions on the exterior of the property, a number of things. So be sure you and your agent are reading through those documents very well, very closely, so you know that, so you don't close on it and then you find 6 months later, oh my gosh, we can't rent it. They don't allow rentals, or whatever that situation is. I had another question. Are you seeing many people purchase investment property? Actually, yeah, there is some investment property, some buy and hold that's happening. We're going back live on air. Final segment. Hey, welcome back to the final segment of the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Today is just yours truly rambling on about all things real estate, mortgage, taking questions, comments as I look outside the studio here in WCCO. Ryan, what a sunny day. Are you doing anything fun today?
I'm actually driving to Chicago right after this.
What's going on?
It's the lady friend's sister's birthday, so we're hitting the road right after this, and got Monday off of work from the full-time gig.
Nice.
So yeah, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time. What do you got going on?
Are you a road trip guy? Do you like a road trip?
I used to dislike them. Now I love them. I grew up going up north to the lake all the time, so that they're in my blood, in my bones. I got used to them, so I like them now. Now that I'm in control, I think I like them more. I'm the one driving.
You're driving.
I can make the decisions. I can see why fathers like that move.
Take it slow through Wisconsin. As a young man, when I was driving to college, I remember I got a ticket driving to school. Take it slow through Wisconsin. And then that's my advice.
And then you just got to survive once you get to Illinois. Those Chicago and Illinois drivers are a little crazy in my experience.
Yeah, it is just very briefly. So we were driving home from college, and this is a true story. Okay, we're driving home through college. My dear father, my late father, and my mom, we were coming, and I'm trying to remember why mom and dad were picking me up. But anyway, we're driving back, and we came through Chicago, and this is no joke. We're on the highway, and there was a gentleman on the highway, and my dad was driving, and we couldn't turn left or right. And so the guy ended up hopping on our hood.
Oh my.
And so dad was going about 8 miles an hour. The guy was on our hood. We couldn't go left or right.
What became of the guy? What happened?
Eventually he rolled off and kept walking. And I'm totally not, it's just, it is a lifelong. So be safe.
Yes, I will be. Thank you for that advice.
Be safe.
I will avoid people.
Take it slowly. I do like a good road trip as long as nobody's hopping on your hood. Hey, I did want to give just a quick note again. We got a couple minutes left. If you have time to check out with our team, with our family, we run a local foundation called the O'Neill Foundation of Hope, which is a 501c3. It's been going for about 2.5 years now. And it was started by our family collectively. I'm the youngest of five. My mom is still living. Again, my late father was an attorney down in New Prague, and we started this family foundation really as a way to help assist people who may be struggling in a variety of ways. Maybe it is a loss of job. Maybe it is a recent cancer diagnosis along with a loss of job. Life, as we know, can hit people in lots of different horrible ways. We started this foundation as a way to help local people right in the Twin Cities. We are quick, we are nimble. The money goes, all donations goes to these families and these individuals. And this year, we're really excited. It's opening up May 1st, but it's called the Bob and Kathy O'Neill House of Hope, named after our dear parents. Again, Bob and Kathy. It is a duplex in Bloomington, and it is transitional housing. It is zero cost transitional housing, an up and down duplex people can live in. Perhaps it is folks who are leaving a difficult family situation. They've got young kids. They need to be in a safe spot. They need to save some money. You can go to O'Neill Hope, H-O-P-E, o'neillhope.org, and nominate anyone that you think that would be a candidate for the House of Hope. It's an up and down duplex. It's zero cost transitional housing. It's actually a long time duplex that I first bought in 2001. And we are in the process of doing some slight renovation to it here in April. And it's going to be opening up May 1st. We're super excited about that. And again, if you're listening here to CCO, you know of anybody, family member, friend, anyone going through a difficult time. Again, if you go to o'neillhope.org, you can nominate people. And we're looking through right now. We're in the process of picking our first two folks that are going to be moving in. So again, we appreciate your kindness, your generosity, and just very excited about that house. My dad was a attorney down in New Prague and ran a law firm down there. And Dad did all kinds of what they call pro bono work. Dad was doing all kinds of stuff down there. So this is a way for the family collectively to honor Mom and Dad, and we appreciate your support as WCCO listeners and your support of the Minnesota real estate team. Ryan, spread the word, buddy. I know you will.
Always do. Always do. I will put the link up in the podcast as it gets updated just in a few moments here.
Yeah, but I really appreciate it. I know the show's gone by quick, and I don't know if we got to everybody's questions. Time goes by so fast. But again, I appreciate you tuning in to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. If you're a buyer, seller, investor, again, we're a local team. We're happy to help you with any questions that you might have, really at all. 612-294-6949 throughout the week by phone or text. And again, if you're a seller in this market, it is a great time. We've got low inventory. If you're a buyer, be sure you're working with a top agent to help you through the process. If you're an investor, you can actually invest in this market. Don't let people tell you you can't invest in real estate. We have many clients that are successfully doing it. So you can be an investor in this market as well. And so whatever your needs might be, please don't hesitate to reach out. Ryan, safe travels to Chicago, man.
Yeah, thank you. I will watch out for any guys trying to jump on my hood. I'll make sure the windshield wipers are on.
Yes, you got to have some fun. Put the cruise on. No tickets for you.
No, I will come back with a ticket list. I hope that every day as I park on the street here in Minneapolis too.
Oh, I've made a lot of trips down to Chicagoland. Yeah. Drive safe, and again, we appreciate all you do, Ryan, for us. This has been a fun show, everybody. Again, reach out anytime. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Enjoy the sunshine. Take care. Thanks for joining us, folks. We appreciate it. It's been a fun one. I know Ryan, you rambled the whole hour by myself. Next time I got to get that camera. I'm going to get that on you, Ryan, over there too. We're going to get you in.
Please no, please no.
Get you in. Appreciate you joining us. I hope some of the tips were valuable wherever you're catching us. Thank you. We'll be back next week for your questions, comments, thoughts. And I appreciate you spreading the word about the House of Hope as well. If you know of anybody that could use some assistance, please nominate them, send them in to us. And we'll see you next Saturday, everybody. Take care and enjoy the